Dear student, welcome to the MSBT's online teaching learning platform. Myself, Professor Harish Ringe, working as head of the department in Civil Engineering Department at CSMSS College of Polytechnic, Kanchanwadi, Aurangabad. As in last session, we have studied about the different types of the scaffolding. We have seen all the 7 types of the scaffolding in previous lecture, and also we were supposed to study about procedure for erection of the scaffolding. Basically, the erection of scaffolding should be as per the norms given and the one by one, so that we are looking after the procedure for erection of the scaffolding, in which the first and foremost step will be the place the base of the scaffolding on the firm ground, having highest level in the place where scaffolding is supposed to be erected, and place all other base accordingly. So first and foremost step is to just place your base of the scaffolding on which we are going to place the standards. After that, place the standard in the bases one by one. Once you place all the standards, insert a transom between two standards at the lowest level. Then insert a transom between two standards at the highest pocket on the standard. Then on the outside face of the standard, link a third standard to the frame by inserting a ledger into the middle pocket. This will act as a guardrail. Then on the inside face of the scaffold, link the fourth standard with the two ledger inserted at the same height as the transom. Then complete the bay by joining the two standards with the two transom. After that, on the inside face of the scaffold, link the fourth standard with two ledger inserted at the same height as the transom. Once you place the inside transom and standards, complete the bay by joining the two standards with the two transom and level the scaffolding with the help of spirit level. Usually start from the standards placed on highest ground level. This is very important thing that you should level your scaffolding, because if you not leveled it, so the distribution of loading will not be proper, and it might be possible that it will be not be stable while working on the platform, and that's why the leveling is very important. Once the scaffolding is leveled, fix the standards and transom and ledger by placing the wedges. As first bay is ready, can repeat the procedure for extending the area of scaffolding by repeating all above procedure. Once level 1 of the scaffolding is ready, place the working platform or the scaffolding to work on the second stage. Once the one bay is ready, you can go for another bay. For how much length you require, that can be completed by following the above procedures. After that, once the one level is completed, you can go for second level and repeat the same procedure as it is followed for first stage scaffolding. From working platform, place the standards, transom and ledgers as directed and complete the stage 2 and go on consequently. Once the working height of the scaffolding is reached to its level, place working platform and raise the standards and put the guardrails. Once you reach to the height at how much level you are supposed to work, at that time place the working platform and raise the standards and put the guardrails so that the safety could be there. After completing this all the steps, place the braces at least every fourth bay to the outside face of the scaffolding only, so that we can say that after completion of these all the things, the braces should be provided, so the safety and the place of the all standards, transoms and ledger could be well placed. And that's why for going for any kind of the erection of the scaffolding, you have to follow this particular procedure. Now the next one, procedure for dismantling of the scaffolding. As in just last point, we have seen that the procedure of erection of the scaffolding, the one should also know about the procedure of dismantling. So the first step is to check is it all the work is completed and no any person or material is there on the working platform. Because when you are dismantling, it might possible that the person or the material could be left on the platform, and if you start without checking of the these things, the accident could possibly arise, and that's why you should first check is it all the work is completed and no any person and material is left on the working platform. Then remove the wedges of the braces and remove the braces from brackets. After that, remove the guardrails from the standards placed over the top platform and standards thereon. Remove the working platform and place on lower level and remove the transom, ledger and standards one by one, and again remove the platform and shift on a lower level. So you can observe that whatever erection procedure was there, just simply reverse procedure you are supposed to follow in case of the dismantling. Then repeat the above procedure till reaching to the last stage of the scaffolding. Once reached at the lowest level, remove all the ledger, transom and then standard from bases, and then by lowering the bases, remove the bases. So this will be the complete procedure of the dismantling of the scaffolding. Now we are going to study about the shoring. The shoring is the construction of a temporary structure to support temporarily an unsafe structure. So basically what we are doing is that if we are digging a pit and it is possible that in this pit the falling of this particular soil or the material is possibly fallen down, in that case we are supposed to provide a temporary structure to hold this material on its place, and this particular temporary structure is called as shoring. What are the different types of shoring? So different types of shorings are racking shoring, flying shoring and dead shoring. So just have a look on the racking shoring. In this method, inclined members known as rakers, so this is nothing but rakers, are used to give lateral supports to the walls. A raking shore consists of the following components, which are that this is combined of wall plates, clest, needle, brace, top raker, brace, docks. Like this, all the component parts are there of raking shores, and it will be provided to hold down the wall or any kind of the material on its places. Then next one is the flying shoring. The flying shoring is nothing but a system provided temporary supports to the party walls of the building, where the intermediate building is to be pulled down and rebuilt. All types of arrangements of supporting the unsafe structure in which the shores do not reach the ground come under this category. So for example, if these two buildings are supposed to be worked on and this particular place is supposed to be vacant and should not be affected by the shoring, in such a cases the flying shoring can be adopted, which can be started any of the intermediate level, and from there the supports can be provided. The last method, that is dead shoring. The dead shoring is the system of shoring which is used to render vertical supports to walls and roofs, floors, etc., when the lower part of the wall has been removed for the purpose of providing an opening in the wall or to be rebuilt a defective load-bearing wall in a structure. For example, in this case, I am supposed to remove some of the part of the wall over here in between, and the part above that particular defective portion is supposed to be kept as it is. So what I will do is that in that case, I am going to put a dead shoring over here, something like this, as you see in this image. Also you can observe all the component parts of the dead shoring over here. So in this case, I am going to refer to the dead shoring. So this is what we are using the shoring system as a temporary structure for the maintenance or repairing work. When opening in the wall are to be made, holes are cut in the wall at such a height as to allow sufficient space for insertion of the beam or girder that will be provided permanently to carry the weight of the structure above. So you can see here a hole is made and beam is inserted over there. So like this we can do a particular work in case of the shoring. So in this lecture we will stop over here, and related to the underpinning and formwork we are going to study in next upcoming lecture. So be watching and be studying on MSBT's online teaching learning platform. Thank you. Thank you.